Hi everyone, I just wanted to mention that the latest Circle Stories article is now up. It's called Witchcraft and the Edge of the World. And this one was inspired by a movie I saw quite recently called You Won't Be Alone, which is all about Macedonian witchcraft. And I don't want to give the story away, but it's about a girl who is promised to a witch, and her mother tries to hide her away to stop that from happening, but as I say in the article, it's very difficult to fool a witch. So eventually the witch finds the girl, and the story then proceeds to show us how she interacts with the world, a world she hasn't seen until her 16th birthday. And it's a fantastic film, well worth checking out. But what I was writing about really were the parallels between Macedonian folklore and witchcraft, and Irish and Slavic and maybe world witchcraft traditions, especially the shape changing, which turns up quite a lot in Irish mythology and folklore. Children of Lear is a famous example, of course, but also there are plenty of stories of Irish witches who shape change into hares, and I suppose the famous one is a farmer coming out one morning and he sees a hare suckling on one of his cows, and he shoots it, and the hare runs away, but the farmer tracks the hare back to this house, and when he opens the door there's a woman inside the house, and she has a wound on her leg. So that type of shape changing is very indicative, according to a lot of anthropologists, of an animistic culture. So it's interesting that although we don't have that necessarily directly reflected in our writing, Irish writing, the what would you say, the motifs are certainly there, and lots of writers like Macon Mangan, for example, has spoken about certain words that seem to lead us towards that kind of animistic worldview in the Irish language, but that's something that we can talk about another time. I then wanted to relate this particular view of the world and of how witchcraft puts people in touch with something so vast and beyond the everyday that it's almost like the idea of hyper objects, which are these huge systems, I suppose, that the writer Timothy Morton has spoken about and written about. Oddly enough, C.S. Lewis also spoke about the whole idea of macrocosms and huge beings that may inhabit them that are so far beyond our senses that we would never be aware of them. So it's a bit like us looking back, towards amoebas or something and wondering, like, well, what would they think of us? Well, maybe we're in the same situation. It's just that it's further on, in way beyond anything that we can perceive. So that's really what the latest Circle Stories piece is about. You'll find it on Facebook. So hopefully you'll read it and maybe drop a comment. So thanks for watching.